Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be starting with the first session. My topic for today is preventing burnout in medical education. So I hope you're all doing well today. My name is Evangeline Virgil. I'm a second year dental student from Manipal College of Dental Sciences, Manipal. I'm truly excited to be here with all of you in this mental health webinar for students. Over the years, I have also faced my own challenges as a student. And today I'm here to share my experiences and insights on preventing burnout. Before we dive into today's webinar, I'd like to give you an overview of our agenda. We'll explore what is burnout. We'll delve into the specific challenges that our students often encounter when it comes to their burnout. We'll shift our focus to self-care, wellness, and resilience. We'll discuss why exactly we need them, the coping mechanisms, and the conclusion. Now, what is burnout? World Health Organization defines burnout as a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from a chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And this is been characterized by three dimensions: feelings of exhaustion, negativism, and reduced professional efficacy. It is crucial to remember that burnout is not a sign of personal weakness, but rather a result of chronic stress and an unsustainable work or a life situation. So, recognizing and addressing it in an early stage can help individuals regain their well being and thrive in their personal and professional lives. Now, stress and burnout are related, but they are two distinct concepts. They are often experienced in response to prolonged periods of pressure and demands. So, it is crucial to recognize the signs of both stress and burnout and take appropriate measures to address them. So, here's how it differs. Now, stress is typically a short term response to a specific situation. It can be a natural reaction to challenges, deadlines, or life events. While the common symptoms of stress include heightened alertness, increased heart rate, anxiety, tension, it could be a fight or a flight response. And these symptoms can vary in intensity, but they tend to dissipate once the stressor is removed or resolved. Stress can arise from a wide range of sources. It can be work deadlines, exams, relationship issues, or financial concerns. But it is a normal and to some extent an adaptive response to challenges. While moderate stresses can enhance motivation and performance, while chronic and severe stresses can have negative effects on physical and mental health as well. It may contribute to conditions like anxiety and depression if it's there over a long period. Well, on the other hand, burnout is a state of chronic long term exhaustion and emotional depletion. It develops over an extended period rather than being a short term reaction. Burnout is characterized by emotional exhaustion, feelings of detachment, reduced sense of personal accomplishment. It often leads to a sense of hopelessness and a loss of motivation. Burnout is typically associated with persistent, unrelenting stress and an overwhelming workload. It is
This is often referred to as the motivation zone. Then, the peak of the curve is where performance is at its best, representing the optimal level of stress for a given task. Beyond the peak, as the stress continues to increase, there is a decrease in your productivity. Okay, so this last portion, this is called the anxiety zone or the stress zone. About the graph on the right side, we tend to remain focused despite high stress levels when it is a simple task. Whereas
signs and symptoms of burnout include fatigue, sleeplessness, headaches, muscle tension. The emotional symptoms include detachment. You feel a sense of irritability all the time, a sense of hopelessness or helplessness. And there are cognitive symptoms as well. You find difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, and decreased productivity. The behavioral symptoms include withdrawal from work or social activities, increased use of phone, and neglecting self care. Coming to wellness. Wellness is a holistic concept that encompasses the overall state of a person's health and well being across various dimensions of life. It goes just beyond the absence of illness and includes various factors like physical, mental, emotional, social, and even spiritual aspects of a person's life. It focuses on maintaining a healthy body, managing stress, cultivating a positive mindset, developing emotional intelligence, building and maintaining positive relationship with others. Now here I want to stress on intellectual wellness. Well, intellectual wellness is about engaging in a lifelong learning and stimulating one's mind. It can involve pursuing educational interests, reading, problem solving, and staying curious all the time. Self care. Self care is simply the practice of looking after your own well being in ways that it could prevent poor physical and mental health. Everybody's self care needs are different and should be based on the determinants specific to their life, such as hereditary health, the environment in which a person is in, schedule, habits, interests, etc. Of course, if we are eating healthy, exercising, and getting enough sleep, we are already practicing self care. But sometimes these essential habits are not just enough for physical and mental well being demands of a medical student life. So, given the compounding stress of endless exams and vivas and those tiring clinical postings, it's no wonder mental health of medical college students are a bit confused. Why is self care important for medical students? The ups and downs of life, especially the college life in particular, can have a huge impact on the health and well being of students. It can help students adapt to change, build strong relationships, and recover from setbacks. There was a survey conducted in which it was shown that the self confidence of a person was increased by 64% by practicing self care. And it also showed increased level of happiness and productivity. So, regular self care can help you manage stress, prevent burnout, and enhance your overall quality of life. Although burnout in medical school is common, it's not something that everybody just takes in stride with acknowledgement. If you don't take time to address feelings of burnout, then you will burn all the way out. We chose to go to medical school because of the impact we wanted to have and the knowledge we wanted to be able to share with our community. So if you're miserable at your job and feel no satisfaction in it, then there's a large part of your life where you're going to be feeling awful. So take the time now to start recognizing and dealing with the feelings of burnout. So when the road gets much harder, as it inevitably will, you have the tools to avoid a meltdown. And also, unchecked burnout in medical school can lead to severe fatigue, low quality of life, poor overall well being, and increased negative ideation. One positive thing about burnout in medical schools is that it can be temporary if you catch it early. So that's why it is important to know the signs of burnout and what it looks like. Every day is not easy, and some days really do suck. But when you learn to deal with any potential triggers of feelings of burnout early, then you can ensure that a bad day is just one bad day. So we will be seeing how to prevent these burnout. First thing is maintain a sleep schedule. When you're in college, it's so easy to just throw away sleep. However, sleep is very vital for us. When you sleep, you give your mind a chance to process everything you have learned. Sometimes college can be so frustrating because you put in all this time to learn something and you can't remember it. But while you sleep, your brain forms these extraneural connections to help you consolidate your learning and memories for the day. So, sleep and rest also gives your body a chance to recharge the battery. When toddlers are tired, they have 0% tolerance for anything. They just start throwing tantrums. Adults are the same way. It's just that our tantrums are more controlled until they're not. So everybody needs sleep. And if you can get an average of about 7 to 8 hours, then you still have 16 to 17 hours to do everything it is what you want to do. So there's plenty of time, but it's just that you won't be able to get anything done if you don't get the proper rest that you need. Second one is take time for yourself every day. I want to emphasize it that it is imperative that you take time for yourself every day. It could be, going for a run, playing an instrument, or watching your favorite YouTube channel. If you like to cook, work out, read, etc., then continue to take the time for that. There are definitely going to be days that you can't do these things because you just get too busy, but you don't want to make a habit of that. So you can ensure that this doesn't happen by writing down in your planner one thing that you're going to do for yourself each day, and be intentional about keeping that date with yourself. Third thing, listen to your body. Your body will tell you when it is time to give it a rest. And you may think that it's great to stay up all night and work through the pain. But there is a difference between grinding and working yourself to death. The first one is working hard and pushing yourself beyond barriers, while the second one is working yourself to the point of your own detriment. So, if you're exhausted to the point that you're reading the same sentence 5 times in a row, then you're not being very productive. I have this, at the end of the day, medical student or not, you're still human being. So when you forget to be human for too long, then you put yourself at risk for breaking down. And if your physical wellness isn't up to par, then how can you expect your brain to cooperate and learn biochemistry? So listen to your body. Fourth one, keep a social circle. Your social circle should be something that you really need to try to keep up with. It is so easy to cast away your social circle. Spend so much time with your classmates. And please don't get me wrong, I would be having a miserable time if I hadn't made friends in medical school. But they are a reminder of how crazy college is. Invest in your friendships too, because they can give you something, from the outside. And they are a nice break too, because they are always the first ones to tell you how proud of you they are. So however difficult it is to manage a social life, but don't get invested in it too much also, because then there is no point of getting burned out. And the last one, continue doing activities that you love. You have to prioritize things for this. Many of us would have given up our hobbies when we were preparing for NEET, and now we feel very weird starting out those things again. Trust me, one day it will be off the vibe, but the second day you'll start enjoying it. And by doing what you love, and you don't just keep learning something new, and your mind will be open to grab new things. And it also helps us to keep up with our individuality. And our brain needs variety, so there's some urgency when it's if focused to one task. So whether there are no other tasks, our mind drift and get tired, and our overall productivity is down. Also, when we do the activities we love, we are introducing parts of our day where we can see success. So if you have a hobby that you're really good at, or a book that you've been dying to read, achieving these goals helps to offset the lack of achievement and that you feel in college sometimes. Medical college life is a long-term relationship, but so is the with yourself. So don't neglect that one, because at the end of the day, the college life is over in 5 to 6 years. So, however, you have the relationship with yourself for the rest of your life. So, but nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who isn't good enough to be around or has nothing interesting about them. So, cultivate that relationship with yourself and continue developing outside of college. So, when your studying years are over, you've still got some good stuff going on. And remember, preventing burnout is an ongoing process, and it helps to prioritize self care and resilience throughout the academic journey. So, by taking proactive steps To maintain your well being, you can thrive academically and personally while pursuing a career in medicine. Concluding my speech, I would want to emphasize on these 5 points to be followed: effectively studying, setting realistic goals, managing time, that is the most important, building up a good physique, practicing mindfulness and meditation, cultivating a sense of self awareness, and seeking out for social support if we want one. I would want to conclude my speech with these 5 points. And thank you so much for listening. You've been a great audience.